Hello everyone, welcome to our second segment with Vedya Shyam from UAE. Vedya Shyam is an Ayurveda doctor who's an MD and won a lot of awards in UAE. He wants to spread Ayurveda all around the world, and he wants Ayurveda to be the new norm for every household. So I'm waiting for Dr. Shyam to just join me in 1 second and we will get started. So any questions you have, anything that you want to add, this is going to be a session on how Ayurveda is so important for prevention and how it can be the new norm for every household. So that is the topic. So you are welcome to ask me questions. I'm just going to see if Dr. Shyam is able to join me, and then we can get started with that. We have been doing a lot of sessions on Ayurveda, as you know. Ayurveda has its different constitution. So Dr. Shyam is just joining me in 1 second, and we started with Dr. Shyam, who's joining me live from UAE. So welcome everyone. I hope everyone knows what Ayurveda is. What are the 3 constitutions? There you are. Hello, Dr. Shyam. How are you?
Yeah. What's time there now? It's good morning or good evening?
Good morning. So I know you're joining us from UAE. You are in Dubai. Where are you? Let's geographically.
In Dubai right now. Here it's 9 p.m.
Okay, yeah, it's 9 o'clock, so it's 12 hour, exactly 12 hour.
That's right.
I'm so excited to have you. I was just telling our viewers, you want Ayurveda to be the household norm for preventive health. And you have won so many awards. So let's just get started. How do you see Ayurveda to be the new norm now?
I didn't get your question.
So I just introduced you to our viewers. You're Dr. Shyam, who's joining us from UAE, and you want Ayurveda to be the new norm in every household for preventive health. So, and that's your mission, and that's what I read about you. So let's just talk about, your viewpoint on Ayurveda as the new norm.
Oh, okay. It's a lot to talk about, because I think, we really need to categorize, the status and the acceptance of Ayurveda before COVID-19 and probably after COVID-19. So if you are looking at, a pre-COVID scenario, you can see that the mortality rate, it was decreasing, the life expectancy, it was increasing, and the lifestyle diseases, associated with the lengthy life or the chronic diseases, it is getting more. So I would rather say, the people were living longer with chronic diseases. So, which was an ideal scenario for the acceptance of Ayurveda. So, not only that, the environmental changes and the lifestyle changes in the pre-COVID scenario was also very favorable for the Ayurveda. And in the pre-COVID scenario, we could also see that, there was a return and the commercialization or acceptance of nature, history, tradition, all these factors were there. And for a place like UAE, if you take it for example, almost 40% of the UAE population is Indians. So this Ayurveda was highly promoted by the Indian population in a country like UAE, for example. And again, of course, the interest from the media, it is very high. And there are so many factors, why I could say, the pre-COVID Ayurveda had a great acceptance, at least in some of the countries. Because, say, like, if you look at the scenario of the Middle East, you can see that, no single system of medicine has complete answer for all the healthcare requirements. So therefore, we need to be aware of the value and the efficacy of various types of treatments, be they the conventional, the modern medicine, or the alternative or complementary. So it has resulted, the approval and the acceptance of Ayurveda in several countries, including in UAE. But I think, the things are much different. The post-COVID also. The after COVID.
Yeah.
In the pre-COVID scenario, it was majorly accepted for the NCDs, that is the non-communicable chronic diseases. Now, with the new challenge of COVID-19, there is an increased interest in the lifestyle, immunity, etc.
Yeah.
And I believe, Ayurveda is getting, more globalized. And as a result of this globalization, there is a proliferation of the consumer choices also. Say, for example, in a country like UAE, different systems of medicines are approved here. Say, like homeopathy is recognized, Chinese medicine is recognized, osteopathy, chiropractic, all these systems of medicines are approved as a medical system. Now, it is becoming more of a demand-driven consumer model rather than a supply-driven consumer model.
Yeah.
So I would say, now the patients will decide, which system to choose. Whether, they will go for Ayurveda or they go for conventional medicine or they go for homeopathy.
Yeah.
And as a result of this, I didn't get you.
No, I say, or acupuncture. Even acupuncture is has a similar kind of elements or similar kind of principles. I should say that acupuncture and Chinese medicine. They're also both Ayurveda and acupuncture are many thousands of years old, and they also have the body work, the herbs, and qigong. As the relaxation techniques, like we have yoga, pranayama. So So how do you compare Ayurveda and acupuncture? I'm a user. I'm a client. I'm the end user. I just see a lot of similarities from the principle point of view.
See, I'm not an expert, to comment on the acupuncture, because I have very limited information about acupuncture. But the areas, which you have mentioned, both are having a great tradition and a great history, both systems of medicine. And both are based on the principles of the energy concept, where Ayurveda is talking about Vata Pitta Kapha. Chinese medicine is also talking about the yin and yang principles, or the vital points which are mentioned in the Chinese medicine. For example, Ayurveda talks about marma points or the varma points. Ayurveda says there are 107 vital points in the human body, which is mainly seen in the joints, at the site of the important ligaments, tendons, blood vessels, etc. So Ayurveda also believes that when a particular pressure is applied on these points, it can cause pain symptoms, or it can injury on these vital points can cause internal trauma, hemorrhages, etc. But at the same time, stimulating the same marma points or varma points could be used for treating various kinds of ailments also, especially the musculoskeletal diseases.
Yeah.
So,
which is
according to me, I feel there is a lot of similarity between the. There is a lot of similarity between the acupuncture points and the Ayurvedic marma points or the varma points.
Yes, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about Ayurveda. So let's talk about, I feel that post-COVID, a lot of people want to do natural, at least in US. I don't know about the UAE, but in US, a lot of people are more seeking preventive health alternatives like Ayurveda, yoga. So let's talk a little bit about the self-care. Self-care in Ayurveda, for example, on a very high level. We have only 15 minutes today, but on a very high level.
Right. See, when the self-care, do you mean that, the home remedies or the daily routines, which are there in Ayurveda?
Daily routine. I think dinacharya.
Okay.
We talk about,
Right.
how dinacharya is so important, and that's, if we do the dinacharya or daily routine.
Right. See, something, very important here. Ayurveda is highly personalized in nature. Say, for example, Ayurveda says, one should wake up, in the Brahma Muhurta. Brahma Muhurta means, the time period between, say, like 4:30 and 5:15 can be termed as Brahma Muhurta. So,
I don't think anyone wakes up so early. Yeah.
Right. So, it is a general statement. Now, Ayurveda says, something additional. Only healthy need to wake up at the Brahma Muhurta. And Ayurveda says if you wake up at Brahma Muhurta, one will become healthy.
I see.
Right? And it's, see, since, Dr. Shyam mentioned today, it doesn't mean that, tomorrow you set the alarm at 4:30 a.m. and wake up. You really need to prepare for that.
Yeah.
So preparation in the sense, you need to have an early dinner. And if you are a Vata body type of a person, you should grab 6 to 7 hours of sleep. If you are a Kapha body type, you might require 8 hours of sleep.
Wow.
So what I'm telling is that, Ayurveda is very personalized in nature, even while defining the daily routines and seasonal regimens.
Yeah.
While talking about, drinking water in the morning, a Pitta person might go for cold water, while a Vata or a Kapha person might go for warm water.
Oh, yeah, because Pitta has the fire, right? The Pitta has the fire, so that
Correct.
needs to be cooled. Yes. Exactly.
So what I wanted to say, the Ayurvedic lifestyle, the daily regimens or the seasonal routines, it is highly personalized in nature. And but in brief, the Ayurvedic lifestyle is prepared in sync with the nature. Say, for example, you might be familiar about the biological clock, that we have. That, for example, you take the hormone melatonin. The hormone melatonin production starts by the sunset. And the secretion of the melatonin abruptly stops by the fall of morning sunlight. And the testosterone production starts. Imagine if we go for exercise in the melatonin hours, it's like a plant opening their leaves at night.
That makes sense. Yes.
Right. So according to Ayurveda, the best way to live healthy is to live in sync with the nature and to live in harmony with the nature.
That makes sense. That makes complete sense from scientific and research point of view also.
Correct. So, see, the daily routines, Ayurveda is talking, very detailed, talking about what time to eat, how many hours one should grab the sleep. But I mentioned, earlier, Ayurveda is highly personalized in nature.
Yeah. So step number 1 would be to understand our personalized dosha, right? That's how Ayurveda describes it, as a constitution, like who I am, from a Prakriti point of view, and then understand my body type, my personality type. And then Ayurveda will, put the principles for me personally or for you personally and say, okay, this is how Amita will do, this is how Dr. Shyam will do on a very high level, right?
Correct. According to me, because of the same reason, Ayurveda is the new norm, of this century, because, it is highly personalized system. And at the same time, it has not only the curative aspects, it has the wellness aspects, which includes the daily regimens and the seasonal routines. For example, according to Ayurveda, health is a dynamic equilibrium. It is not a static equilibrium.
Yeah.
So the health of a person in winter is different from the health of a person in summer.
Yeah.
So the kind of food a person should eat in summer is totally different from what he should eat in winter. Right? For example, when you're looking at the winter regimen right now, Ayurveda says one should eat more sweet, sour, and salty taste.
Yeah.
While in the previous season, which was autumn, Ayurveda suggests one should eat more sweet, bitter, and astringent taste.
I see.
So in autumn, one should eat more of cold potency food, while in winter, one should eat more of warm potency food. So Ayurveda is, it treats health as a dynamic equilibrium.
That's right. And then it combines the yoga, right? It's not just the body, like we are talking about the food, and it also takes care of the mind part of it. That it combines the mind with the body, and says now you need to experience. I mean, you need to do the yoga, the breath work. Yeah, please go ahead.
Right. This is something which you need to be very clear about. Ayurveda talks about Vata, Pitta, Kapha.
Yes.
So Ayurveda says Vata, Pitta, Kapha, they are the doshas of the body. At the same time, they are the doshas of the mind also.
Oh, okay. So what were the Sattvic and the there's another one called. So what's that correlated?
So Ayurveda says in the body has 3 doshas, which is Vata, Pitta, Kapha, while the mind has 5 doshas, which is Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and then Rajas and Tamas. Sattva is of good quality.
Yes, yes.
But Ayurveda is dealing only with Vata, Pitta, Kapha. It is not dealing with Rajas and Tamas.
I see.
Say, for example, when Ayurveda is talking about, a depression condition or an anxiety condition, Ayurveda says, anxiety is more of a Vata, Pitta dominated condition, while depression is more of a Vata, Kapha dominated disease. So Ayurveda treats the anxiety which is due to Vata, Pitta. Ayurveda treats depression which is due to Vata, Kapha. But Ayurveda do not treat anxiety and depression which is due to Rajas and Tamas.
Okay.
So here Ayurveda says,
it's all
here Ayurveda,
according to the Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Vata, Pitta, Kapha.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. So here Ayurveda says you may go to yoga to treat a problem which is due to Rajas and Tamas because both are sister sciences.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so the step number 1, let's say if someone is having anxiety, as an example, which all of us are right now, and then how would you as a doctor determine what, so you will find out from me, asking me detailed questions as to where my, deficiency is, or where my aggravation is or a particular dosha, right? That would be the right sequence of events, or sequence of how you would diagnose me?
Exactly. See, in an Ayurvedic diagnosis process, both the disease and the deceased has to be examined. Not only the anxiety, but the person who is having the anxiety problem also should be examined.
Got it.
Now, this has to be done, in terms of the type of imbalance, whether Vata, Pitta or Kapha, and now where it has manifested, and which geographical location the patient lives, what is the current season, whether it is a winter season or a summer season, what is the habituation of that patient, what is the Agni or the digestive capabilities of that patient, what is the food habits of that patient. So it's almost, around 10 things to be examined while examining a patient. Now, examining a disease, it has to be done with regard to the causative factors, the probable causative factors. Number 2, the premonitory signs, the early signs and symptoms. the signs and symptoms, the pathology of the condition, and the complications. Say, for example, when you're talking about anxiety, I can think of maybe 50 different medicines which is indicated in Ayurveda.
Oh my God, 50, not one. No, like I can't.
More than 50. But it doesn't mean that, you make a soup of all the 50 and feed to the patient 3 times a day.
Start eating like crazy, yeah.
So you might not need, all the 100 bullets. You might require, only 1 bullet.
Yeah.
If you diagnose the patient and the disease correctly.
Yeah, it's very different than conventional medicines. We just go, oh, I have a headache, let me just take a Tylenol or, something, and I just pill a pop. And then, we are a pill a pop society, for the last so many years. So educating all of us, including me, I did not know much about Ayurveda. I'm guilty, myself. About a year back, or and before I started this company, I had no clue, not much clue, I should say that. But I think educating people about Ayurveda is so critical to make all of us understand how Ayurveda can be so beneficial for all of us.
Exactly.
It's amazing, amazing. Someone is asking me again and again about the hair problems. This is not a topic. We're not talking about hair problems, but I don't know if you want to add something on hair problems, because this person is asking 2 times about the hair issues. So.
Right. See, I will tell you an example. I will talk about, a hair tonic named hibiscus. Hibiscus, which is cold in potency, which is having dry qualities, which is having bitter taste, can be used as an excellent hair tonic.
Okay.
While at the same time, licorice, which is having sweet taste, cold potency,
okay,
oily qualities, can also be used as a hair tonic.
Okay.
Or a Bringaraja or a Tegaraja, which is the botanical name is Eclipta alba, which is having hot potency, spicy taste, can also be used as a hair tonic.
Hair tonic.
Correct. See, imagine a cold potency and dry herb can be used as a hair tonic. A warm potent spicy taste can also be used as a hair tonic.
Yeah.
Now, again, the same thing comes, which bullet, I will use. But generally speaking, most of the hair problems are either due to Pitta imbalance or due to Vata imbalance, generally.
Okay.
So, somebody having, a hair problem, I would strongly recommend reduce sour, salty taste. Reduce fermented food items, reduce yogurt, reduce sprouts, reduce jaggery. I will recommend, those pitta balancing things.
So I hope that answers your question. Someone had asked about the hair problems, so Dr. Shyam answered your question on that. Anything else you would like to add? This is fascinating. The way you explained it in a very simple way, I think it's absolutely amazing and fascinating, because, it's comprehensible to, I hope our viewers find the same way. Now, someone is again asking on the hair. I think we are all obsessed with our hair. Someone is saying, I have gray color. But maybe we can have a separate session on hair. If you are, if you want a hair session, we will do a separate hair session. This time, I don't know if, okay, so someone is saying I have gastric problem also. Okay. Right.
See, to answering about hair, the color of the hair, it is due to the melanocytes, which secretes the melanin pigment. The lifespan of the melanocytes in a human body, it varies. Some people, it can be 80 years, and in some people, it can be 10 years also. So the lifespan of the melanocyte cloak depends on 2 factors. Number 1 is the genetic factor. Number 2 is the lifestyle factor. So we can correct
So
within the frame of the genetic limitations.
of course, that makes sense. That makes sense. Hope that answered your question on hair. I know this person was asking the question that he or she is only 20 years old and they've started getting gray hair. So Dr. Shyam explained, why you probably are getting gray hair now at the age of 20. Okay, so
40 years is a reasonable lifespan nowadays for melanocyte look.
Yeah. Well, if you have serious hair issue problem, then okay, it's not genetic, I'm sure. Why don't you reach out to us, and then we can set you up for consultation. This is not a consultation session right now, and it's not it's a general discussion. So I would really encourage you to send us a message, and so we can give you a proper consultation through the doctor. Okay. Anything else you would like to add, Dr. Shyam? We would love to have more sessions with you. This is amazing the way you explained it. It's so simple and clear.
See, I surely feel, those who are practicing Ayurveda and those who are, studying Ayurveda, the coming days is going to be the days for Ayurveda, for sure. Because in several places, even the general practitioners, consider Ayurveda as a new medicine rather than it is the old and traditional medicine.
Yeah.
And several times, the lack of scientific validation, so-called scientific validation, it has not affected the popular usage of Ayurveda, because several times clinical legitimacy is more important than the scientific legitimacy for a clinical practitioner. Say, for example, I'm giving a particular herb like amla for a disease. For example, you take premature hair graying. Though I might not have sufficient laboratory and toxicity studies to prove that amla is good for premature hair graying. But if clinically, if I'm finding it effective, that is enough for the patient, as long as it is safe.
You're right. No, I think there is now, if you go to PubMed, I see that there is definitely more research papers that are coming out from India or from all over the world in Ayurveda. A few years back, it was very difficult to find any research, so now at least on the herbs, different herbs, you find a lot of research, in ashwagandha and amla, shatavari, so many of the research that you can already find. And also they're trying to do clinical trials. So I think you're absolutely right. It's growing. The people want a little bit of a clinical angle to any form of medication, and Ayurveda in the past has been lacking in that.
Correct. See, according to Ayurveda, anything and everything in the universe can be used as a medicine if you know the qualities of it.
Yeah.
And as the great scientist, like Thomas Edison says, the doctor of the future, will give no medicine.
Yes.
But the doctor, will rather, interest the patient in the care of the human frame with regard to the diet and, with regard to the prevention of the disease rather than giving medicines.
Absolutely. Yes. And it is happening, if you think about it, right?
It is happening.
Functional medicine has become so popular in US. I have talked to so many MDs who are going into the integrative part of it, functional medicine. And functional medicine is exactly what you are saying, the diet part of it and exercise and your lifestyle.
Correct.
Correct. And they're not talking about, and a lot of doctors are imbibing Ayurveda now, at least in the United States.
Correct. See, I had a patient, recently who had a block in the femoral artery, and the patient, he is finding it difficult to walk even for 2-3 minutes. So severe pain and cramps, comes on the legs. Who came for the Ayurvedic treatment, And
Okay.
he took an Ayurvedic medicine, I mean, for a month or two. Now,
Yeah.
he is able to walk for even half a kilometer.
Wow.
I sent him for another investigation to see, what has structurally changed, with those medicines.
Yeah.
See, the obstruction remains the same. But as a functional level, he is able to walk without pain.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
See, this is how, for example, when you're looking at as an engineer on a block in a pipe,
Yeah.
the block has to be removed for the water to flow.
That's right.
But as an Ayurvedic doctor, you may not need to remove the block.
It's a very different principle.
See, probably the collateral blood circulation, might have developed, or the body has, I mean, ensured more blood flow through the parallel arteries.
I see.
Or the body might have taught those cells, to live in less oxygen and less nutritious environment.
Yeah.
There could be multiple ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Someone is asking this question 3 times now. Maybe you can comment on it. Which herbs are for gastric problems? Someone is asking this question right now.
Right. See, the common gastric problems, you talk about gastritis, or you talk about gastroesophageal reflux disease.
Yes.
See, both are slightly different. A typical gastritis, it is treated more of a pitta imbalance.
Okay.
While, a gastroesophageal reflex happening, it's an upward movement happening.
Yeah.
Where Ayurveda consider a Vata imbalance together with Pitta imbalance.
Okay.
Or another condition you take, irritable bowel syndrome.
Yes.
Which is, again a functional issue of the movement of the digestive tract. And Ayurveda say Vata govern all sort of movements, and the imbalance of Vata results in the irritable bowel syndrome.
I see.
And again, if the irritable bowel syndrome is constipation prone, and whether it is diarrhea prone, the treatment is slightly different.
Okay.
And the IBS, if it is, so many permutation combinations.
Yeah. Yeah, so the person who's asking this question, this is like exactly Dr. Shyam is saying, it's not one size fit all. It's personalized for your dosha, for your exact constitution, for your exact issues that you're having. So,
see, for Pitta dosha, if it is merely due to Pitta, you should favor more bitter and astringent taste and sweet taste. Say bitter vegetables like bitter gourd, snake gourd, ash gourd, bottle gourd, leafy vegetables, all these in cooked form, will help you.
Okay. I hope this answered the question. People are asking all kind of different questions. We have only about half an hour today, and we can have another session now. There's a question on diabetes too. Is increasing these days. Any remedies for that? Oh my God, this is a huge question. Diabetes.
See, the best remedy for diabetes is, go for a daily walk, and walk in the daytime, not after the sunset.
That makes sense.
And
that makes sense.
Along with that, you may take, some simple remedies. Say, for example, amla with turmeric. It's a good combination for diabetes.
Okay, I hope this answered your question. You asked this question on diabetes. We should have workshops or wellness programs, with Dr. Shyam, so that, there's a lot of demand. People are asking a lot of questions. It's amazing. Anything else you would like to add? Oh, now, my God, there's another, anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up today? I saw another question, but I don't think we have time to go into detail of each and every medical condition today. If you want to talk about different conditions, Dr. Shyam can come back and we can do one thing, one at a time. This is a journal session today. So anything else you would like to add, Dr. Shyam, before we wrap up?
Thank you so much, I mean, for giving this wonderful opportunity, to interact with your followers on Instagram. And I wish, though it is late, I wish everyone a very happy Ayurveda day, which was on the
Thank you.
13th.
13th of November. Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. And to our viewers, let us know what else would you like to see, the topics. I think we can convince Dr. Shyam to come back maybe next month and talk on a completely different subject. So with that, I would like to wrap up this session. Thank you so much, Dr. Shyam, for being with us. It was an amazing session, absolutely amazing, and very inspiring to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Bye-bye.